Are you ready to play with color on your 10 stitch on purpose? I don't mean just making a scrap GAN style or letting the yarn color do the work for you, but I mean intentionally making the color change. We've got some charts for you. I'm going to show you at the end, so stay tuned for that. But first, we're going to learn how to knit it on the loom. So stay tuned and we'll get right to it. Welcome to GoodKnit Kisses. We're all about helping you stitch your love and love your stitches. Okay, are you ready to get started and looking at this yarn? I know you want to get right into making that change. I want to tell you first, be sure and check down in the description below and click on that link to go to the blog and get the color charts that you want. There's also a downloadable free chart that's blank so that you can use a rectangle or a square, and there's actually two different ones, a larger one and a smaller one, and you can colorize your own. I recommend colored pencils so you can have a bigger variety of colors to sort of match-ish your your yarn, and you might want to make like a little key that says this color is this particular yarn and all that kind of stuff, so you can do that on your own. All right, we're going to jump in and I'm going to dive right into where I will color change, so just watch the video through the whole thing, and then when you're ready to actually color change on your project, then come back after you've made all your plans. All right, let's get started. Looking at this gauge swatch square, this just shows you where you've cast on, done your two corners, joined, the third corner, joined, fourth corner, and made your last join, and it gets you this square or your initial rectangle. And then this is where you're going to want to start your color. So this little line right here on our charts is going to be red, and it will appear kind of bold on there so you can see this is where you need to start. So if you are working where you want the right side to look nice and you like how the ridge is showing here, then you will start with it directly on your first knit row of your corner. You're going to start knitting there with your new color. If you like the wrong side more, then you're going to start one below, which is the row right before you begin the corner. So that is where you actually make your color change. As we're working, the corner is going to start developing this direction, and so the first stitch is actually going to fall on this side of the chart. All right, let's move on. Here's an actual sample to show you instead of just the chart, but we've got it ready for the next color, and I want to explain the right side versus the wrong side. So this is the right side that has a little bit more of a ridge on it. This is, by the way, this is the old wrap method, and then on the sample down here, this is the a little bit lessened on the wrap. So the back side is going to have no ridge back here, and the other one will kind of fill in this little gap. So whichever side you want to do the color change on, you need to pick it now. So if you are about to start the corner and you're on the wrong side row, which is actually purling back on the loom, when you're purling back before you start the corner, you actually will start over here and then work your way purling in the new color. So if you want the new color to show correctly on the right side and not have these little weird bumps on it, then you're going to want to do it how I'm going to show you here. All right, so let's begin. You're actually going to be on this left side over here. And if you're left-handed, you're going to be working in the opposite direction as I am showing here. All right, so the first part is I want to show you if you've got slip stitches on the ends, you're going to work it the way I'm working it here. Otherwise, just start knitting on the first stitch here. So I'm going to go through the back with a tapestry needle. I've threaded on my new color, and I'm going to just add a little extra measure of security so it's easier for me when I want to weave in my tails. So I'm just going through the back of the stitch on the first peg. That's all I'm doing in this case. I'm going to leave a nice long tail. In fact, you can go and wind it around another peg or this anchor peg here, and then just work your row as you normally would for a corner. I'm going to begin by knitting across 8. So I've slipped the first stitch, not working it, and then I'm going to knit 8, and I will wrap that last peg and then continue working all the way back, and then when I purl, I'll end up knitting this peg, and then that peg will get the new color on it. So as I work on here, I'm going to chat for just a minute and tell you that I'm not going to show you the whole corner here. Okay, here, let me just wrap that and I'll start purling back and chatting. If you want to see the tutorial on the corner, the full one, click on the video where it says it has a little eye icon, and you'll go to that video and go in the description at the timestamps and then jump to the corner section for a slower video. This video is not for that purpose. I'm going to stop the video here, and you don't need to pause in this case, but I'm going to stop the video for a moment and continue knitting my corner and then a straightaway section so you can see what this color change looks like. I'd really like for you to see that. And then I'm going to show you all the different charts and options that are available for you. All right, now you can see me do this turning peg here, the slip stitch that we didn't do anything with before. That gets knit on that purl row. And now we're going to begin the next row by knitting 7. So I'm going to continue doing this, and I'll see you in a moment with the results. See you soon. I didn't quite get to a join area. I actually stopped and I thought, you know what, I have a better way to show you. So I want you to see, first of all, you see how this corner turned out. I have a little bit of this little hiccup where the other slip stitch was, so it's just a little bit of gray. It's not really that big of a deal, but my yarn is in a good position here. It's all trapped in for me to weave in the tail, and I have a video on weaving in tails in garter stitch right up here. Click that eye icon and you can see how to do that. And I want to talk about this corner here if you're changing color in purl, and what does this look like on the wrong side. She was talking about, what was Kristen talking about? Well, when I'm changing it to show correctly on the right side, this is what it'll look like. See how clean that is? Now the wrong side looks like this. So it has a little color pop of the new color coming in below this one here. If you changed on the purl row before and before you did the corner, then you would have that little pop of color on this side over here. So it's going to happen on one side or the other. You just need to make that decision. Also, I want to show you, I'm actually on the row right before I would head back in the corner, and I wanted you to see that I've now knit over the original color and then the wrap color. And so it's going to do the same thing on both sides. So now those are knitted over and I'm ready to purl back. So I would continue purling back in this color and then work my join section. Now, if you're wanting to change back and you were doing the whole wrong side color change on a purl row, this is the row that you would do that on if you were changing it back to gray or another color and you just wanted like a pop of color on the corner row. One of the charts that we're about to look at actually has a cool design that's like that. So if you are interested, stay tuned. All right, let's look at all the fun color charts. Our first color chart is stripes in the round, and it's just simply alternating stripes. It begins with a larger section of the color, just where that beginning gauge swatch was that we talked about in order to do the rounds. Again, click on that link up there and find the video showing what a gauge swatch is. So we've got your beginning section doing the 2 corners, going down to the 3rd corner, over to the 4th and up, and then this is where you begin. And so this little part here is where the color change happens. So that's really fun with the stripes. This next color chart is one of my favorites. It's the square gradient, and I love that it incorporates 5 different colors of purple. Right here in the very middle, you can see there's a very dark purple or eggplant color, and then just a little bit lighter with 2 rounds of a little lighter purple, and then we get into a little bit lighter and a little bit lighter, and then the very lightest. You could even do a white here or cream or something if you don't have enough for all of them. And the beginning is a little different in that it's got, of course, your cast on, and then the 2 squares here, the 2 corners, and go around corner, corner, corner. And this is where that sort of immediate square would be for your gauge swatch. But it actually incorporates 1 more round here to give it a nice big thick square. Okay, I really like that. And then it color changes, the first color change here, and we're changing on the color corner. And so you've got 2 rounds of purple. And then when we go up to the next lighter color, it's actually 3 rounds of purple. And then the next 2 colors after that also have 3. Now you can translate that to your size with the blank one as well, and do your own square gradient. But this should give you an idea of how to start your own. This one is rainbow rounds. It's so fun and brilliant and vibrant. You can use any kind of colors here. This is just giving you an idea. You could even take this and look at a color chart and how to change the different colors or tone these down. And maybe you do muted tones or pastels or whatever. It doesn't have to be this bright. So this one actually starts with the beginning cast on, just one color pop. And then it changes immediately on that very first corner. You're going to go around all the way to the end, which is normally where you would have your gauge swatch here. And then we change into the yellow, and then you change into the green, and then they just change every single row. So the unique part in the very beginning is just this first color pop of red in your little first cast on ridges. Now you can of course put this in a rectangular blanket as well. We're just showing it in this square. This next chart is called quarters, and it's just dividing the quarters of this up. It's not obviously in squares, it's in triangles. Now it is just slightly offset a little bit, but you really don't notice that much. We're going to zoom in here and I'll show you. It's 4 colors. We're starting with this color here in red, and it's just on that beginning cast on and beginning ridges. And then the very first corner, you're going to go ahead and change into your second color. The third color is incorporated in the second corner, and then you continue it when you do your first join. Then you change it to the fourth color on the third corner and continue in the join. Then change to the first color again in the next corner. So you are still changing on corners, and we're going to go up here and then change again. So that is how that would be done. And then you just kind of keep it on going. The last one is contrast corner. So you're just talking about a main color blanket, and then you've got every single corner is going to have a pop of color. So you can make it more subdued or a color pop, or even maybe you do a rainbow throughout here, or make this one color here and this one color here, or maybe you do a combination of the the quarters and the contrast corners. Maybe this is a way you divide the colors up, and maybe you want it to be like a big hourglass and make this one white, and maybe this whole thing is black, these parts that join, because it's got this middle part here, that's an hourglass, and then maybe this is the same color as that, or 2 different colors. So you can plan it however you like, and you'll have the blank ones to support that. So as promised, here is your blank chart. This one has 12 rounds on it, and if you zoom in on your PDF, you'll be able to see it a little clearer than here, but there are red lines showing where you start your next color change and really where the rounds begin. So if you're trying to understand how the rounds turn out. And we've also got that on the rectangular version. So same thing, both have 12 rounds, but we've upped it again for you and have 24 rounds. So you have more room for colorizing a chart and making it really your own. I really can't wait to see these and what you make. All right, well, what did you think of that? Tell me down in the comments below, which style is your favorite? Are you excited to get that free PDF download and design your own? I can't wait to see which one is your favorite. And I'll tell you, mine is really designing its own, but I do love how Joanne did that gradient one, because it really just kind of takes some guesswork out, and you could just go shopping at the store and sort of put your skeins together and go, ooh, this is the ones I want. And then use the calculator. So click on the icon right over here, the eye, and go look at that yardage calculator for the 10 stitch, because you're gonna wanna know how to calculate those out and get all the perfect rounds. So be sure and use them all in cohesion together. So I hope you enjoyed this this 10 stitch series. We will add some more in the future. We do have plans for them. And check out the playlist. We have a Loom knit playlist and a needle knit playlist for all the 10 stitch videos, and including the Loom knit playlist also has other people who've been teaching them too. So don't be afraid to go over there to those videos and check them out as well. Be sure and click on that link on the blog to find all the information you need for the PDFs, and we will catch you there. I'm so glad that you joined us today. Please be sure and smash that subscribe button and the bell so you continue to get alerts whenever we upload a new video. All right, well, I'm so glad that you joined us on this journey of stitching your love and loving your stitches. I hope you have a great day and happy knitting and crochet. Bye-bye.